ثانية واحدة، أنا عاوز الأجانب الأول. يس مام. ما تزعليش مني، إحنا دايما الناس المصريين دول كرمة. مش كده ولا إيه؟ يس بليز. يس بليز. Raise up your voice, please.
Short time ago, we received a report that there was another attack in the West Bank, that Israelis were injured. So I just wanted to ask whether Egyptian leadership intends to invigorate its talks with Hamas in order to prevent maybe more attacks in the next year if the talks will be survivors.
Number one, it's a vicious circle of violence and bloodshed. It's most unfortunate. What happened in Hebron, near Hebron, the day before yesterday, and what happened a few hours ago. It's a very sad story. It puts in a nutshell the sufferings of our area, the Middle East, from this vicious circle of violence and bloodshed. Unless we reach a successful conclusion of the peace process, this violence will continue. There will be no end to this bloodshed. That is why those who have endured war, like President Mubarak, like the Egyptian people, those who have fought wars are the best entitled to appreciate the value of peace. We will not give up on Hamas. We tried for several months to strike a deal with regard to Shalit, to strike a deal with regard to bringing the Palestinian division to an end. The problem is that the factions that stay in Damascus receive lots of money from Iran, and they have their private agenda. They don't pursue the national Palestinian high interests the way we believe they should do. Yesterday, the one high-ranking official of Hamas said that going to Washington to launch direct negotiations, for him it's high treason committed by Abu Mazen. You will find someone in Israel looking at it this way when it comes to Prime Minister Netanyahu. That is why I say, as much as we know that there are peace lovers and supporters on both sides and everywhere, there are peace enemies. Peace for them means the end of many things. Money that you receive raising the slogans of resistance, the fame you get from news agencies quoting you and your spokesman, and so on and so forth. So let us keep our fingers crossed, and my condolences to our Israeli young lady about the victims that fell today and the day before yesterday. But unfortunately, other victims will be found everywhere, including amongst the Palestinians, both in the West Bank and in Gaza. For all those who pay their lives as innocent civilians, we feel very sorry, be it an Israeli or a Palestinian or anyone else. Yes, ma'am.
Would I be correct in discussing another invitation by the United States towards the U.S. to maybe not be sufficiently involved or perhaps fight the opponent or President Abbas on the second position?
If I understand your questions well, yes. There had been great expectations, very high expectations after President Obama gave his famous speech in Cairo University. These high expectations came to be frustrated on two main tracks. The first track is related to the peace process. People believe that President Obama and his administration could have done better. The second track relates to clash of civilizations, stereotyping concerning Islam and Muslims, xenophobic and racist practices against their communities abroad, both in the States and in Europe, and so on and so forth. People, when they listened to President Obama, he was preaching a new era for peace between the Arabs and the Israelis, and preaching a new era after September 11 and after the surge of xenophobia and racism, stereotyping beliefs about Islam, clashes of civilization, and so on and so forth. Both tracks did not come to the satisfaction of those who attached these high expectations. When it comes to the peace process, the administration started by raising the issue of settlements with the Israelis. They wanted settlement activity of the Israel to be stopped, to halt completely. They couldn't do it. Then they lowered the ceiling of their demands. They said, okay, Israel, we Americans are asking you to freeze it. It didn't work. Then they further lowered it to say, okay, at least you have to restrain settlement activity. Many people in our area and beyond believed that the Americans could have done better. The Americans have more to do. The Americans have more card to use when it comes to Israel. But it seems that for many others, and I recall an article written by one of our art butchwals in Egypt. He's a great writer with great sarcasm. He said, perhaps the Americans have got for Israel more carrots than sticks. More carrots than sticks. But anyhow, it is not a matter of exercising pressures, but it's a matter of striking a sense in the minds of one of your allies. Friends listen to each other. When we say that it's time for peace to take a move forward, we believe this serves the best interests of our area, the best interests of Egyptian national security, and the best interests of Israel. Demography and time work against Israel. We don't want to come to a point when the two-state solution is no more applicable. And we are to be faced by a one-state solution where Arabs and Palestinians will be regarded as second-class citizens, thus defaming the democracy of Israel. This for us will be a worst-case scenario. Unless the Palestinians have the right and have the possibility and have the opportunity to establish their own state on their occupied territories, this will be of disastrous effects in the Middle East and in the whole world. Have I answered your question? Yes, there have been a great deal of high expectations, but frustrated.